Hi, I'm Karen with Yoga for the Peaceful, and in this short video we're going to go through some leg stretches that you can use either before a training session or after, whenever it might feel good. The props you're going to need for this practice are 2 blocks and a blanket, and then it's always nice to have a mat. So let's start by coming to a seated position and just taking a couple breaths. And it's always good to slow the breath down and allow yourself to drop in that place where the energy in the body is nicely stitched to the physical body. And we're going to begin by doing a yin pose called dragon. So come on to all fours on your mat and bring your blocks to the front of the mat so that they're probably on the mid-height right underneath the palms. Take your left foot, bring it between the blocks so that your shin is perpendicular to the earth, and walk that right leg back as far as you can, and then go ahead and drop the knee to the mat. If you need padding under the knee, you can use your blanket. So to start with, we'll take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, drop the toenails to the mat and feel your knees melt away from each other. Create a broadening and a softening sensation in the pelvic floor. You can create a nice long neck by dropping the shoulders down the back and letting the head bow. And we'll hold here for about a minute in this video, but this is a really nice yin pose to do, especially on cold joints. It works the interconnective tissue in the body, so this is great for the fascia and the ligaments in the hips. So while we're not going to hold it quite so long, you can hold this pose for 3 to 5 minutes when you have time. With every inhale, feel a lengthening in the body, a strengthening of the bones, and with every exhale, just feel those knees melting away from each other. Soften the muscles in the face. Let the skin fall away from the bone and muscle underneath it. Let the jaw relax. And try to let go of all the muscles in the body. Let the work be done with the scaffolding of the bones and the ligaments. And then on an inhale, press your head back up, curl the back toes under, and gently come back, bring your hands off the blocks into the mat. Let the left toes point back at you as you get a nice hamstring stretch on that front leg, and you relax the work by bending the right knee. And then let yourself rock forward again, and let's switch the legs. Bringing the right leg in front, let the left leg reach out behind you. And again, if you need to, kind of come up on the toes and draw that leg back so it's as stretched as it's going to get. Bring the knees and toenails to the mat. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, create the melting sensation in the pelvic floor and in the knees. The shoulder blades are going to draw towards the hips as you bow the head. Find some stillness in the pose and let go of all the muscles, let go of all the doing. Again, when you have sufficient time, or even now, you can pause the video, but you can hold this for 3 to 5 minutes. There's also a variation called fire breathing dragon, where you keep the back toes curled under and you let that back leg stay off the mat, pressing the heel behind you. And when you're ready, curl the back toes under. Start to take your sit bones back towards that left heel. Take your hands off the block. Let the right toes curl back towards you. And just stretch here. Let that front leg expand. Relax the left leg. And we're going to switch legs again. We're going to bring that left leg forward. Let's take the blocks off the mat. And this one you for sure might want to put a blanket under your knee. So if you're feeling a boniness between your knee and the mat, now is a good time to do that. We're going to come back into the same lunge position. We're going to bring our right hand to the floor. You can, if you need to, you can bring it to a block. And then the left hand to the knee. Inhale, bring that right leg up. Arc that left hand back, take a hold on the inside of the foot, and then flex the foot like you're standing. Pull that left heel in as close as you can. Take a few breaths here. And this little different variation of dragon. And you can also inhale, get really long in the spine, and as you exhale, twist to the left, look back over that right foot. And again, this is a pose that you can hold for two to 5 minutes if you'd like. And we're not going to hold it that long right now. We're going to go ahead and bring that back leg down and slowly switch the legs. And again, you can use a block under the left hand if you want. This time the left hand will be to the mat. We're going to pick up the right leg. Inhale, reach that right arm all the way around. Take hold on the inside of the foot, flex the foot like you're standing. Take a nice deep inhale and look back over your right shoulder. And begin to relax the foot, sweep the arm back over, and let's take that front foot back, coming into a tabletop position. Curling the back toes under, come into a downward facing dog, and just stretch out here, nice long side bodies, and then walk your feet towards your hands, rolling the spine to come all the way up. For this next pose, we're going to take a block and place it on the mat. And I'm just facing sideways. You can see what I'm doing, but you can be facing longwise on the mat. And we'll take our second block and we're gonna just put it in our hands. Take your left foot and take the ball of your foot to the edge of the block. Heel is gonna be on the mat. And it's really key that you curl your toes off that block. So we don't wanna grip the toes on the block. We wanna curl the toes back towards the knee. And as you exhale, come down, place the top block onto the first block, rest your hands on it. Walk that right foot forward as much as you can and keep your balance, and then lean forward into that left leg till you feel a nice magical stretch in the back of the calf. And you can stay here as long as you like, and when you're ready, we're going to work a second muscle down in the calf, and we're going to get it by slightly bending the knee until you feel the stretch just move down a little more towards the heel, and then pause there. It doesn't take much of a bend. And go ahead and straighten the knee a little bit and come back up. Let's do the other side. So we're going to take the ball of the right foot against the edge of the block. Take a nice deep inhale, create some length in the spine, and then come down, placing the second block on top of the first. Same thing, curl the toes off of the block towards your knee, lean into that right leg till you feel a nice stretch on the calf. And now bend the knee just enough to feel the stretch move down towards the heel. And use an inhale, you can leave the block where it is and roll up. Perfect. Let's take the blocks to the side. We're going to stretch the IT band and some of the interconnective tissue on the outside of the thighs. So stand on the left foot and cross the right leg over so that all four corners of both feet are on the mat and the little toes are touching. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, and as you exhale, swan dive down to the mat. If you need to, you can put a block here under your hands. But bring your hands down to the earth or a block and put the weight on the left foot. So kind of rock towards the big toe side of the left foot. Bend the right knee a little bit and bend the left knee into the back of the right knee and adjust so that you feel the stretch on the outside of the left thigh. A couple more breaths here. And on an inhale, slowly roll up and uncross the legs. Let's do it on the other side. So take the right leg, stand sturdily on the right leg and cross the left leg over. Touch the two little toes and bring all four corners of the feet to the mat. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, and as you exhale, come down to the mat. Rock onto the big toe side of that right foot, bending one knee into the other, finding where you can light up the IT bend on the right leg. Another breath here. And then slowly roll up. Let's uncross the legs and come to a seated position, bringing the soles of our feet together and interlacing the fingers around the toes. Find some length in the spine, and as you exhale, come down towards the earth. There's a couple variations you can do on this. It just depends how it feels on your back. The yin version is to round the back and let the back of the neck lengthen as the head drops. More traditional Iyengar or Hatha version would be to keep more of a flat back. So as you come down, draw the shoulder blades a little more together and avoid the rounding of the back. So whatever feels good. We're mostly focused on releasing the groin muscles and the inside of the thighs, letting the knees relax and become heavy. Let the shoulders sink away from the ears. Enjoying a few breaths here. This is another pose that it is one you can hold for 3 to 5 minutes. It's a quintessential yin pose. It's a great pose to just come into whenever you have the time. It's a nice pose for the kidney meridian, which is where we have store of energy. And when you're ready, you can come up. And then let's do one last set of poses. So for this pose, we're going to take our left leg to the side, right leg in front of us, and create two 90-degree angles. This is a yin pose called deer. So the right knee, right foot, right hip, 90-degree angles, and same with the left. So this front leg's not going to be tucked in close to you. It's going to be out in front. Bring your hands on either side of that front leg. Roll the belly button towards the heart and look back over your shoulder. And your gluteus medius and some of the muscles up here on the outside of the hip. Again, when you have time, or you can pause this now, you can hold this for a few minutes. For now, we're going to go ahead and exhale and turn forward. Bring that left foot on top of the right knee. So we're going to stack ankles and knees. the body resists this procedure. If you have a knee issue, with the bottom knee, always just keep that leg straight. You can put props, blankets, or blocks if you need to underneath between the left knee and the right ankle. But finding a pose here, and you can stay here for however long you'd like as well. We'll just stay here for several breaths. And let's go ahead and switch to that same sequence on the opposite side. So we're going to bring the right leg out to the side, left leg is coming across in front of us. 90-degree angles with both legs. Take your hands on either side of that left thigh. Really raise the heart towards the sky, and then exhale, twisting to look back over the left shoulder. And exhale, turn forward. Bring both legs in front of you, and just with some soft fists, just tap up and down the legs, loosen up the fascia. This is a nice time if you have it to do a foot massage on either foot. And then when you're finished, go ahead and come to Shavasana, or just let yourself rest in the breath for a few breaths before you continue on with your day. Noticing the movement of energy in the body from the work that you've done. Namaste.